If you're a real Ferrari fan, you know the world of the Prancing Horse is way more than just screaming V12s and gorgeous designs. It's a whole universe, really, with its own history, its own heroes, and its own secret language. Today, we're going to unlock that code. We're demystifying the essential vocabulary that truly defines this incredible brand.
To really get what makes a Ferrari, you have to learn to speak its language. Every single term, from the design houses that shapes the bodywork to the racetracks where legends were born, carries a piece of the story. It's how we see these machines not just as cars, but as true moving works of art.
I mean, you've heard the terms a million times, right? Berlinetta, Spider, Scuderia, GTO. But what's the actual story behind those words? What do they tell us about a car's design, its purpose, its place in history? Well, that's exactly what we're about to dive into. So, here's the game plan. First, we'll crack the code on the visual language of Ferrari's classic designs. Then, we're going to pop the hood and get into the engineering talk. After that, we dive headfirst into the brand's racing soul. And to wrap it all up, we'll cover the essential terms every collector absolutely needs to know.
All right, let's start our journey into the Ferrari lexicon.
First up, let's talk about the look. See, the names for Ferrari's body styles aren't just fancy Italian words thrown on for flair. They tell you exactly what kind of car you're looking at and what it was built to do. Okay, the two most fundamental terms you're going to hear are Berlinetta and Spider. A Berlinetta is your classic fixed-roof coupe, a little saloon, designed for sleek aerodynamics and pure performance. A Spider, on the other hand, well, that's all about that open-air experience. It's a convertible that gives you that incredible roofless thrill without sacrificing an ounce of Ferrari's high-performance DNA. Now, here's a rarer one you might hear, the Berlinetta. It literally means little boat. This name is reserved for the most minimalist, often completely roofless sports cars built for one thing, being incredibly lightweight for pure driver engagement. The name actually comes from the iconic 166 a nod to its boat-like open-top design that just went on to dominate the Mille Miglia endurance race. Of course, these beautiful forms didn't just appear out of thin air. Back in post-war Italy, Ferrari was laser-focused on engineering the best engines and chassis in the world, and they left the bodywork to specialist coach builders, or carrozzeria. Pininfarina was the absolute master of elegant, timeless lines, shaping icons like the Testarossa and the Enzo. Then you had Scaglietti, who was a master of metal, hand-forming the lightweight aluminum bodies of Ferrari's greatest race cars, including the legendary 250 GTO. Okay, so we've gone from the skin of the car to the soul of the machine. It's time to get under the hood and look at the engineering terms that define Ferrari's legendary power and performance. Right at the heart of early Ferraris was the Colombo V12. This was a compact, super high-revving engine designed by Gioacchino Colombo that powered absolute legends like the 250 GTO. But then, later on, Ferrari totally revolutionized its road cars with the flat 12 Boxer engine. Its horizontally opposed cylinders gave the car a much lower center of gravity, which dramatically improved handling and really paved the way for mid-engine supercars like the Testarossa. And all that engineering genius led to a lineage of truly game-changing supercars. It really kicked off with the 1984 288 GTO, which a lot of people call the first true supercar. That was followed by the raw, untamed F40, a masterpiece for the 40th anniversary. Then came the F50, which literally brought Formula One engine tech to the street. And finally, the Enzo, a tribute to the founder himself, built from cutting-edge carbon fiber. And the F40 wasn't just an icon because of its looks. Oh no, it was a statement. As the very first production car to officially break the 200-mile-per-hour barrier, it was a raw, uncompromising machine built for nothing but pure performance. It cemented its legendary status forever. You just can't separate Ferrari's engineering from its real purpose, winning. Every single road car is infused with a spirit that was born on the racetrack. This is a legacy forged in the absolute heat of competition. And right at the very center of that racing legacy is Scuderia Ferrari. Scuderia is Italian for stable, which is just a perfect name for the Prancing Horse's racing division. It's the oldest and most successful team in the history of Formula One, and its relentless drive to win is really the engine behind the entire brand. Now, when you see racing terms on a Ferrari, the details really matter. Corsa just means race, and it usually points to a connection to motorsport heritage. But competizione, or competition, that's much more specific. That tells you the car has been seriously engineered with enhanced track-focused performance. We're talking weight reduction, performance tuning, the whole 9 yards.
And this brings us to what might be the 3 most revered letters in the entire automotive world. GTO. It stands for Gran Turismo Omologato. Omologato means homologated, which was the official process of getting a car approved for a racing series. And to qualify, car makers had to build a limited number of street-legal versions, which in turn created some of the most desirable road-going race cars ever made. And if you want to understand the value of that racing legacy, just look at this number. Over $51 million. That was the record-breaking option price for a 1964 Ferrari 250 GTO. It just goes to show you how that direct link to the track creates not just a car, but a true piece of history.
So what if you're lucky enough to actually be in the market for one of these historical artifacts? Well, in our final section, we're going to cover the essential terms that separate a great collection from a truly legendary one. For collectors, it really all comes down to these 3 pillars of value. First, matching numbers confirms that the engine and chassis are the original factory-paired units. Next, classic certification is the official seal of approval from Ferrari itself, verifying a classic car's authenticity. And finally, provenance is the car's life story, its documented ownership, its race history, everything that makes it one of a kind. And these terms, they get even more nuanced. A car's story is told through its heritage, which is the brand's overall legacy, its provenance, which is the specific car's ownership history, its pedigree, meaning its racing success, and its lineage, which is its place in the evolution of Ferrari design. Really understanding these differences is the key to grasping a car's true significance. Ultimately, learning this language lets you see beyond just the metal. It lets you appreciate the deep history, the engineering genius, and that competitive spirit that is baked into every single car that leaves the factory. It's what elevates a Ferrari from just being a machine into a true work of art.
So now that you speak the language, I have to ask, which piece of this incredible history speaks to you? Would you go for the open-air elegance of a classic Spider, the raw, homologated power of a GTO, or maybe the cutting-edge tech of a modern supercar? Let us know what your dream Ferrari is. Thanks for tuning in.